Hello. Um, I'm going to try to explain how to play the Carter Scratch as authentically as possible. The Carter Scratch is a style of guitar that was developed by Mother Maybelle Carter, and she had a genius, it was such a genius way of playing guitar in terms of playing lead on it. And the point in it is to play a melody and the rhythm at exactly the same time, which is quite unusual really and is quite amazing. So I'm going to teach you how to do it authentically because there's a lot of people on YouTube that do it, but they can't do the the melody and the rhythm simultaneously, which is what I'm going to try and do. I will say that this video is going to be long because I'm going to explain in depth everything, just for those who can't understand. So if there's a bit that comes up and I'm talking and you think I already know that, feel free to skip. So yeah, let's try this. So the first thing you need is a guitar, obviously. You also need a thumb pick and a finger pick. Thumb picks, for some reason, in Australia are called plowshares, and a finger pick. If you've never seen these before, that's kind of what they look like. They look like that. Preferably have a plastic thumb pick, and a steel finger pick. That, in my experience, is the best combination to have the Carter Scratch authentically. So you put them on, and then when you put your finger pick on, put it on, basically just an extension to your nail. You don't need to do any of this putting it on back to front that some people do for some reason. So as far as the left hand goes, everything in the Carter Scratch is played in the key of C, because as you'll see later, that is how you pick a melody out of the chord. Now, if you want to do it in a key that's not C, you can use a capo. So, for instance, no capo is the key of C, but if you want it the key of D, you put it on the 2nd fret. Key of E is the 4th fret. Key of F, the 5th fret. Key of G is the 7th fret. And then once you go above G, the frets become quite small and it's quite difficult to play. The other thing that Maybelle did from time to time was tune her whole guitar down, so you could, get up to, I think she had it down about A, but there's only so far you can tune a guitar down before it becomes unplayable because the strings are just far too loose. So you can do that to change the key of it. For the sake of today, I'm just going to be staying in the open key of C, because why not? Hopefully you can see this well enough. Now, the trick of it is mostly in this hand. When you're playing, there's only usually 3 chords that are used in the whole thing. There are exceptions. Occasionally you'll use D and A minor, but for the sake of this, we won't bother with that. So when you're in C, the only other 2 chords you need to know are F and G7. So it's just C, F, and G7. Now, I'm going to demonstrate with Wildwood Flower, because that is probably the most known Carter Scratch tune. I'll just play it quickly. It goes like this. So that's the sort of thing that you can play with this. Now, most of it is in this hand with your thumb pick and your finger pick, and you have to learn, the trick is to learn to move your thumb completely independently of your first finger. So in the holding down a C chord, your thumb is literally just playing the bass note. Before you start trying to pick out melodies, just see if you can get the hang of just strumming like this. So all your thumb is doing is the bass notes, so like this kind of thing. That's all your thumb's doing. And then your finger is constantly going up and down. That's important that it's going down and then up, because that's the most authentic sound you can get. Some people just go down like that, but no, it's going down and up, yeah, down and up continuously. And then along with the bass notes, you just need to learn that to do that at the same time. And doing that at the same time is quite difficult. There's not like a magic trick to knowing how to do that. There's no way to explain how to do that easily, because people find that that's really hard. I found it really hard when I started trying to do this. It's just one of these things, you just have to keep practicing at it, and then eventually one day you'll just get it. So that's going up and down. So that is, now if you can do that, that is effectively the whole magic of it. It's just about using your thumb to play the bass notes and having your finger going down and up constantly. And if you can do that, you can do the hard bit, because that is the hard bit. Alright, so in terms of playing the actual tune, that's when your this hand comes into play. And by the way, because this is in the key of C, the other thing you can do is alternate the bass notes like that, just by moving your third finger up and down like this. That's what I usually do. So you can pick it like this. So yeah, so that is the thing to practice. Just have your finger going up and down and your thumb picking the bass notes. But you need to make sure that the magic in it is having your finger going up and down, or down and up as it is, constantly, because otherwise it'll sound like this. That's one at a time. And that's constantly. You hear the difference? And that's important, because when you're playing the notes, there won't always be a gap in between the notes to do that. So that's why that's the clever bit of it, and that's the bit that is quite hard for some people. So I'm going to demonstrate with Wildwood Flower. So basically it involves a lot of you moving your fingers about. So you go with this hand, your second finger, you start on the third string from the top, in just holding down a C chord. That's the first note, and then the second note is you move this finger, your third finger I should say, down a string, and then you play that same string again. So it's like this. And then you play, you can just put your fingers back to the normal Z position if you want. For this note, it doesn't really matter. And then you play the G string, which is just open, and then you have to move your second finger down and sort of bend the G string like this while picking it like that. So it starts like this, like that, and then again, you don't have to. You can just return to your C position and just pick the second string from the bottom, which is your B string. I had to think about that. And you just pick this. So it goes. And then you go back to in the key of C, sorry, in the chord of C, you go back to your D string, and then you put your third finger back on the fretboard, prick it again, and then take it off and pick the same string. And then this is the first time you're actually switching chords. So then what you do is you take these two fingers off the board completely, and you move your first finger down a string. And that, as long as you leave the top two strings alone, which you will anyway because they're not in the tune, then that bit is the bottom of the G7 chord, if that makes sense. So then you just play the D string, and then it's another bend. You go to the D string and bend it like you did the G string a minute ago, and then you go up, put your second finger on the second fret of the A string and click that, and then you put your third finger back to its original position, and when you do that you return to a C chord. So shortly, it's basically, you'll have to skip through that bit and watch it again a few times to get it, but it's like this if I do it very slowly. And then, remember what I was talking about before about your finger going constantly? You just need to add that in. And that gives you your chord. Try again. So that's the first part, and then you literally just play that twice, so like this. I've sped it up a bit now. That's the first part. And then, so basically there's three parts of it, but the first two is just the same bit played twice, which is that bit. And you just need to practice it and you'll get it eventually. Now, the next part is quite easy because you're not doing anything with this hand, you're just holding down a C chord and you're just playing the bottom three strings one after another. And what I like to do is play the first two, this is what Maybell did, play the first two with my thumb pick and then play the bottom string with my finger pick turned up. So like, if you hopefully get in there, see it, so it's like this. That's what I like to do. So you go. Okay, and once you've got that, you just do it again, but faster, so like this. So it sounds like this. That's what it should sound like. And then, for the only time in the whole song, you use your pinky finger on your left hand. This is the only time you use your pinky finger on your left hand, and you use it to press the third fret on the second string from the bottom, which is your B string. So you just press that down with that, and then you play that with your thumb pick. And then you take it off and play the string again, and then you play the string above it, which is your G string, so it sounds like this. And then you play that again, and while it's ringing you move, because this is where it comes in the F chord, you have to move your first finger, keep it on that string, but just either bar it, or just, if you're lazy like me, you just hold it so it's muting it so that string's not ringing. And then you also move your second finger down one. It's just like you're playing an F chord, but you're only playing the bottom three notes of it, basically, if that makes any sense. And then you go, so and you do that while this is ringing after you've picked it, which is your G string, so you go like that. And then you hold that position and you use your thumb pick to go up from the second from the bottom, which is your B, and to your G, so like that. Like that, so it sounds like this. And then you just return back to your C chord and you play your G string again, and then you play that once more, and then you play your well, it's a C note, which is your A string, which with this hand's still playing a C chord. You play that, and then you play the next string down, but you hammer it on. So you take your finger off that string and you pick it with your thumb pick, but while it's ringing you put your finger back on, so like this, and you do that again, so that whole bit sounds like this. And then you pick your open G string again, just like that, and then you do that again. So far it goes. And then you pick your D string, which again, just holding down the C chord. So it's D string. And then you do that thing I did earlier where you take all your fingers off it and you just move your first finger down to the bottom string, and you just play that open D string, and then you do that bend thing again, which is like on the D string. You can see that. And then you go to the second fret on the A string and you play that, and then you return to your C position and play your A string. So that whole bit sounds like this. Hoping you can see this alright. And then you have to do the thing where you add in the strumming with your finger. Now on that bit where it's going, there are no more strings underneath it, so there's actually no room to fill that in. So in that you can just do that like the way I've been doing it, so like this. And then once you've done that bit you can start filling it in, so it sounds like this. I'm now going to play the whole thing really slowly, and I'll move a bit closer so you can follow along in case that's useful, or more useful I should say. Made a mistake there. That is it slowly, and you can watch that and replay it as many times as you like to try and get it. But it's all about filling in the rhythm all the time with your first finger, and it's quite a hard thing to get in the beginning, and I can't explain how to do this simultaneously because I think it must be like a psychological thing or whatever, I don't really know. But you're always playing using this finger to do the chords.